For those of you who don't know, I live in Hawaii. Hawaii is a string of islands connected together, and I live on the island of Oahu. There's a big island on Hawaii, there's Molokai, there's Kauai, there's Maui. There are a lot of great places to surf in Oahu, and especially if you are a beginner, Oahu is a very beginner-friendly place to learn how to surf. When I first started to surf, the beach that I went to wasn't even a surf beach. The beach that I went to was Sherwoods. Sherwoods is in Mahalo, which is kind of on the east side of the island, or windward side. That was where I learned how to surf, mostly because the way that Sherwood's waves break, it's right basically on the beach. So I really didn't have to paddle that far out. I could catch white water if I really wanted to in order to practice popping up and whatnot. I would say before you even jump in the water, practice and perfect your pop-up, practice and perfect your paddling. I even took my board to the pool a couple of times, mostly just because I wanted to practice paddling. I wanted to practice sitting up my board, turning around really quick in order to catch a wave. There's a lot of things that you should practice and kind of at least know the basics of before you hop into the water. If you ever do take a surf lesson, don't make sure that you understand all of these fundamentals before you even hit the water. I would say the top 3 places to go in order to learn how to surf would be Waikiki, White Plains Beach, and maybe even Puiana Point or Chun's Reef. I know that's 4, but Chun's Reef and Puiana Point, they're kind of close to each other. They're on the north shore side of the island, so they're not really that far apart. I will say though, if you are visiting Hawaii, just go to Waikiki. Waikiki, there's a lot of places where you can take a surf lesson. There's a lot of places where you can rent a surfboard. Waikiki is a point break, not like White Plains Beach, the beach that I usually go to, which is a beach break. Point breaks are a little easier to learn at, mostly just because you don't have to keep paddling into a wave. You can paddle out to the left or right, and it'll be kind of flat mostly there, so in order for you to paddle back out to catch the waves. Waikiki is a fun beach to go to. I really just don't like going to Waikiki Beach because of the hostility with locals there. Still, people are just hostile towards you. It's crazy to see. If you're looking for a beach that is kind of a little more secluded, still has lifeguards, not as much foot traffic, and there's still places where you can rent surfboards and learn how to surf, I would definitely recommend White Plains. White Plains is on the Ewa side of the island. Not really the south side, but like the southwest side of the island. It is a beach break, so it is a little harder to paddle out. There is a lot less people there. I feel like the people there are a lot more forgiving. There have been times where when I was beginning to surf down over there, people would approach me and give me tips, which I thought was great. You know, I'm always for constructive criticism. I never take it as an insult, and it helped a lot actually. It helped with my progression in surfing. And the third one is Puiana Point. Puiana Point is on the north side of the island, on the north shore. I will say that North Shore does get pretty crazy during the wintertime. The good thing about Puiana Point is there is this giant like toilet bowl shape that kind of protects the inside of the beach where a lot of people or a lot of beginners learn how to surf. And if you continue paddling out of that little circle area all the way out to the right of the tip of the point, that's where a lot of the intermediate surfers go to surf. I will say though that over there, if it's low tide but big waves, it is really rocky. There will be times where you're surfing out over there and you can see rocks protruding out of the water, especially if you paddle out super far out to the point. That I would definitely be careful of. And during the wintertime, North Shore can get pumping. North Shore gets really big in the wintertime. That's the side that you go mostly to surf. If you are beginning to learn how to surf, I would definitely not recommend going to the point of Puiana Point, but you can definitely go on that like fishbowl, toilet bowl style area. There are even surf lessons out over there by Puiana Point, which is even great too for beginners. But if you are beginning to learn how to surf and you live on Oahu or live in Hawaii, just buy a used surfboard. Don't rent a surfboard and don't take a surf lesson. You can take a surf lesson if you want, but whenever I see people taking surf lessons, it's usually tourists and they don't really allow you to catch a wave. They kind of just position you into where the waves break and they push you into it. Yes, it's fun because you learn how to like pop up on a wave and you have a lot of fun because you're catching all these waves. But if you are going to take surfing a little more seriously and you want to surf continuously, that's not going to progress you at all. Actually paddling for a wave is totally different than getting pushed into a wave. And unless you know what you're doing, you're gonna have a very difficult time transitioning from being pushed into waves to paddling for waves. time it for you. I've seen people where the surf instructor literally counts down from when they're going to push them. And again, that can be very helpful for beginners, but if you're going to take surfing seriously, you want to progress a little faster, I would recommend just giving it a try. Going out and try it. It's going to suck in the beginning. The first time that I was surfing, I only caught like one wave. I saw all these people around me catch wave after wave after wave, and it was discouraging. That's when I went to a more friendly beach. I went to Sherwoods. I just caught some white water. I practiced my pop-ups. I practiced positioning myself on the board, and I was able to progress really fast. Ready for surf? Yes, sir. Just got done at the beach. Honestly, today was pretty shitty. There were waves today, but there was just this crosswind that was messing up all the waves. Scale to 1 through 10, I probably only rated like a 2. Today was pretty shitty. Like, I've seen flatter days that were better than this because the waves are at least producing surf. The combination of the wind and just everything else, there were waves again that were producing surf, and I'm sure there would have been more waves that were producing surf if the wind wasn't so aggressive today.